If you ever wondered what high-quality men really want, well then keep watching because I'm going to be naming 6 things that are a must when it comes down to attracting high-value men. If you ever asked yourself what high-value men really want, well then keep watching because I'm going to be naming 6 things that high-value men find very attractive in women. Hi ladies, my name is Ieva Bereisaite. I am one of Greta's high-value women coaches, and today we're going to be talking about 6 attributes that men really do want in women. Before we jump into today's video, make sure you take the self-awareness test to find out if you're a woman of high value or of low value. You can find that test in the description section below. Also, make sure to check out Greta's online store. You can find a bunch of really cool hoodies and t-shirts in there. Make sure you have a look. I have a couple of them and I am absolutely in love. First and foremost, I really want to define what a high value man is. So again, this is how I personally see a high value man. A high value man is a man who is ambitious, a man who is also respectful. He is kind to himself and kind to others and has a goal in his life or multiple goals for his life. I think a high value man is decisive and he is not put off by challenges. Instead, he finds challenges intriguing. A high value man likes challenges because he knows that he will grow from those challenges in a way. I also think a high value man would therefore be smart, intellectually smart, and he would also take care of his looks and would therefore be attractive in a way. So a high value man is this package of what I see a man should be like, so to say. And again, you're not born like this as a man. And again, you can even call high value men those alpha type males because they, as I mentioned, are decisive and they go for the chase and they go for the challenge because they are intrigued by that. Okay, they know they can grow from that. They are attracted to things that don't come easily. When it comes down to men who are under 30, right, they might, for example, not all be like this. You need to go through a certain phase in life and go through certain challenges to be able to grow from those challenges as a person. But if you are dating someone where you can see, okay, well, he has goals in life and he's smart and he's kind of climbing up a ladder of his own development in a way and what he finds is important to him, and if he is constantly progressing forward, that's already a really good sign. And even if they don't have everything sorted in their lives, it doesn't mean that they're not high value men. It just needs some time, and that's perfectly fine as long as your guy is consistently trying to excel his life and level up his way of living and likes challenges and is not really turned off by failure but is more kind of pushed towards living a successful life. I believe that that is already a high value man. So the first thing that a high value man would want in a woman is he would want the woman to be confident in her looks. We have to remind ourselves that not every woman looks the same, and not every woman should look the same. We are all different for a reason. Some women have longer hair, some have shorter hair, some are taller, some are smaller. Whatever it might be, women are different. And this is the beauty of being a human. You are completely authentic. There is no one out there that is exactly like you. Love your own authenticity and love the way that you dress and love the way that you act act and look and be comfortable in your own skin. Confidence and being comfortable within your own skin always shines from the inside outwards. So, for example, nowadays, you will see that a lot of women dress very, very similarly because of the trends that are happening. If you don't like those trends, don't follow them. If you think something is cool and you like it and you like wearing it, do that. You have to like it at the end of the day. And that's a really important thing to remember. Don't just do something because other people are doing it. When you look the way that you feel comfortable with and what makes you happy, you will radiate from the inside out because you will be comfortable with yourself. You will act more naturally, you will act more comfortably. And this form of confidence within yourself is what attracts a high value man. Don't be afraid of your personality to shine through. At the end of the day, when you feel comfortable in your own skin, the right man will find it attractive. Let yourself try out new things, try out new styles, try out new colors. See what you personally for yourself like and wear that. And wear that with confidence. And that is really one of the things that differentiates a high value woman from a lot of other women is that you don't look for acceptance outwards. You like what you wear and you wear it with happiness and with confidence. And that is what is attractive at the end of the day. Don't be afraid to look different, okay? That really is the beauty of being confident in a way and being confident with your own looks. And as I said, different types of women, like women who are not your average everyday girl, those attract high value men. My second tip is self-respect and respect towards others. And ladies, this tip is really extremely important and is not talked about very much. So we have all heard of self-respect once, twice, or 5 times in our lives already, and we know what that is. So it is basically when someone treats you badly, you speak up for yourself and you let them know that it is not okay. That to me is having self-respect in a nutshell. What a lot of people don't talk about is actually respecting other people, and that is very important. Respect towards not only yourself, but towards others is what really differentiates a high value woman, and the respect towards others is a trait that high value men find extremely important. Respect is not one-sided. It's not about respecting yourself, but disrespecting or saying mean things to other people. It's not about that. When we respect ourselves, we have to respect other people as well. So if we respect ourselves, we have to respect our partner. We respect his family. We respect his friends. They should respect us as well. So it should never be one-sided. For respect to really be harmonious, it comes from both parties. We have to be respectful towards our coworker, but be able to set boundaries when they are not being respectful towards us. That's the way it works. We treat other people with respect, but if we see that we are being taken advantage of, we set a boundary, and that boundary shows our own self-respect, okay? And even like really when you're on a date with your guy, be respectful to everyone in the room. Be respectful to the waiter. If his friend comes over, if whoever is there, be nice, kind, and friendly. And also something that I've noticed, these are really like the fundamentals when it comes down to respecting another person. When you're talking to someone or when someone is explaining something to you, you let them finish their sentences, you don't interrupt them. Of course, these are manners, having manners, but they show that you are actually listening to that person, right? And not many people listen. And it shows that you obviously have manners, and it shows that you respect the other person and that you're capable of having a grown-up conversation. Because too often I see both women and men interrupt each other or interrupting other people and not letting them finish their trail of thought or their sentence. And that can, after a while, lead to resentment. And it shows that a person cannot really have um, a conversation that is not built up out of stress and frustration in a way, because if you constantly get interrupted, frustration builds, and that frustration has to go out somewhere. And it might go out in getting into a fight with your partner or someone else because you are just frustrated that no one will let you speak out. So it's really the simple things: being kind, being respectful towards others, letting them speak, listening, having eye contact when someone talks to you. And these are the basic steps of showing respect towards others, but I see so often that it is not done. And for high value men, these traits are extremely important. And nowadays, a person might think, well, I don't mean it in a mean way. If someone, if you interrupted someone, it wasn't meant in a mean way or whatever. And it's just looked at not as important. But at the end of the day, it's really these simple fundamental things that differentiate one woman from another. It really, really is. For a high value man, being respectful towards him, his family, his friends is a must. Having manners is a must. And that all leads down to having self-control as well. These things and these traits are extremely valuable, and they are really something that turns the attention of a high value man towards you. And if these traits are something that you do not have yet, then keep working on them. If you haven't already, then make sure you subscribe to Greta's YouTube channel below and click the bell button to be notified whenever she uploads a brand new video. Tip number 3 is to set boundaries. Men like to know what they can't do. And this is the case even though they might not always want to admit it. The reason being is he ends up respecting you more when you draw the line when he has not been respectful towards you. Respect and love really go hand in hand when it comes to high value men. So make sure to set a boundary when he is not being respectful towards you. If he, however, is joking around innocently and is just bantering or making a small joke here and there, then it's not necessarily important, I would say, to set a boundary if it's really something harmless. Instead, you can just ignore it if you don't like it, or you can banter back. However, if someone is really disrespecting you, then you of course set a boundary. If your guy is, for example, late to the second date, just a little late, but you are always on time and you end up having to wait on him, you can say something like, I'd really appreciate it if you were on time. That's pretty much it. That's already setting a boundary, and he won't forget that. You can also call him out on what he says, especially if it is rude. So if he says something rude to you, you can say, that sounded quite rude. Just call him out on his actions. Or you can say, I really don't appreciate that. Please don't say it again. Just these types of things already call out a guy and let him know that he has to act respectfully towards you, or else you're going to set a boundary, right? And that is extremely important, and men actually like when they are put into place. Number 4 is to be a good person. This actually goes hand in hand when it comes down to having respect towards others. Not only that, it's really all about doing the right thing. Your morals and values are very, very important. And if you can help someone in some way, shape, or form, or if they ask for your help and they're not using you, but they genuinely need your help, then you help them. You should make it a priority to be a kind person, to act kindly. When a woman needs help crossing the road, help her cross the road. It shows a form of kindness, and it is good for you as well. And high value men are very attracted to women who are good people, women who are kind as well. At the end of the day, this shows that you have a kind heart, right? And when it comes down to high value men, they want to marry a woman who has a kind heart, who is kind towards family, who is kind towards other people, and who has a good heart. And of course, if the guy or you want to have kids, the high value man obviously wants his wife to be kind towards children. And this is something I see very often. And I think it's a beautiful trait for women to have, or people in general, to be honest, for people just to be kind to others, right? And this isn't something that a lot of people nowadays have, I feel. Some people don't even react to it. It depends, but it's not a trait that many people have, but it is a very beautiful one, and it shows that a person is a good person, and that is very attractive for a high value man because being a good person is important to him as well. Number 5 is to have her own interests and to have her own point of view. Having your own life is a must, and not putting him on a pedestal is also a must. Remember that you should never drop your hobbies or your love for life for a guy. If you love doing something, continue doing it. And if you have a hobby, always continue with it. If you want to build a side business, then do it. It's very important to remember not to change for a man. If you want to change, right, then you do it for your own self and because you think it is important to level up in your life in some way. The relationship in general should be about growing together as a couple and expanding in a way. And it's never about giving up things that are important to you for someone else. It's not about that. It's about being together as a couple and accelerating life and expanding um, as a couple, but you should never be put in the place, or you should not put yourself in the place of, okay, I don't have time for my hobby anymore because I have a relationship. No, you should find time for your hobby, just like you always have, because it is important to you. It's a part of you, and you should not let that part go. I have heard so many stories of men who stopped dating women or like broke up with women because after a while of being together, the girl just stopped pursuing her goals. She stopped going to the gym. She stopped just living her life basically, and she centered her life around the guy. And this is definitely not something that should be done. And there are two ways that this happens. First of all, the girl just starts doing it by herself, okay, because she puts him on the pedestal. She thinks he is her source of happiness, and she surrounds herself around, like she builds her life around his, just because she thinks it's the right thing to do. And then the second option of the guy will actually see if you will give up things for him. Okay? For example, if you go cooking with friends every Tuesday and Thursday, and you end up going in a relationship, and the guy knows that you go cooking every Tuesday and Thursday, and he asks if you are free either Tuesday or Thursday because he's busy all the other days, and you're not, you're cooking with your friends, it's something that you do, and you won't give up a hobby um in order to be with him, because he's not giving up being busy in order to be with you as well. So you have to remember, um, of course, in a relationship, there should be compromises. However, we have to be careful with things that we do compromise. If you really are attached to something, and if it does you well, and if it does you good, you should not have to give it up. Instead, you find a compromise, you do it some other time during the week, but it comes from both parties. You should not be the one having to give up a lot of things in your life and him not having to change anything in his. That's not how a relationship works, but it is something that I see very often, that women give up things in their life in order to be with the guy, in order to make more time for him. And that's not the right way to go about it. Okay? If he cares for you and if you care for him, you will find a compromise where both of you can spend some time together. And if you can, if you're both really busy, well, that's the way it is. You'll find a different date, or you both give up something in order to spend time with each other. But it should never be one-sided, and that is something really important. Tip number 6 is to be smart. Being smart is very attractive for a high value man. And by this, I don't mean you have to have a PhD. By this, I mean really speaking your opinion. If you have a certain mindset when it comes down to something, or you have a certain point of view, and it's not necessarily the same point of view as he has, speak your mind and be okay with saying that. You don't always have to agree with your partner. It's perfectly fine to do so, and it is very attractive. Okay, let's say for example, you guys are really in a relationship now, or you're married and you're deciding to buy something for the house or for the apartment, and he has this color and you have this color of something that you like, right? For example, a bed. He wants the black frame, you want the white frame. And you don't have to just give up your desire in order to please him, right? You can tell him, well, look, this looks good because this and this and this, whereas the black one is like this and this and this and this. So you guys, you ladies should always be okay. And at the end of the day, whatever you guys decide, you decide. Either if it's the white one or the black one, it's fine. But it's really about not just saying, okay, whatever you want, I'm fine with that. It's really not about that. State your opinion. Don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to speak up when he says something that you don't like. Again, speak up for yourself. If you have a different point of view of something that's going on in the world, speak up. Just voice your opinion, and it's perfectly fine to do so. And I know a specific man that always says, I find it so wonderful that people are different and that they have different ideas and different thoughts, and I wish more people had the confidence to say it, right? And the guy that I've heard this from is really a high value man, extremely high value man, and very successful. And he is right. You know, we should speak up for ourselves, and we should state our own opinion. And we don't have to be pros in it. If we think that something should be this way and not this way, we can say it. We can say it respectfully, kindly, of course, but we should not be afraid to say something. High value men find it extremely attractive when women do state their opinion, sometimes especially when it's not the same opinion as theirs. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Greta's YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button and leave a comment what you like most about the video. Join Greta's free High Value Women's School. It's a Facebook group where you learn how to bring out the best in your man. You can find the link to the Facebook group in the description section below. And if you would like to know how to stay attractive via text, what games men play on women, how to control your emotions, or how to get your ex back, how to love yourself more, or maybe you have a hobby that you would want to turn into an online business, well, Greta has these videos and more up for sale on her website, so check that out in the description section below as well. And if you would want one-on-one coaching with me, Greta, or any other member of Greta's team, then make sure you check out Bereisaite.com, and you can find the link to Greta's website in the description section below as well. If you don't follow Greta on her Instagram is Ladies Relationship Coach. Make sure you give it a follow. I'm sure you will absolutely love her content that she posts on there. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Have an awesome week. Bye!